Russia uses Belarus as proxy to bypass Western sanctions. Russia uses Belarus to bypass Western sanctions, Belarusian opposition politician Pavel Latushka told Euractiv in an exclusive interview, advising the EU to align the sanctions on Moscow with those on Minsk. The EU first targeted Minsk with sanctions over its ferocious campaign of repression in 2020, while Belarus and Russia were hit by sanctions after Moscow sent tens of thousands of troops into Ukraine on the 24th of February from Russian and Belarusian territory. The Western sanctions are leaky, which is why we appeal to the West to align the sanctions on Belarus with those on Russia, Latushka said, suggesting Moscow has found ways to avoid certain punitive measures via its neighbour. Minsk was also heavily sanctioned last year after the interception of a Ryanair plane and the arrest of a dissident journalist on board. The West also introduced sanctions against key sectors of the Belarusian economy, including potash exports, of which the country is the world's third largest producer. However, according to the opposition politician, the ban on the transit of Russian trucks is bypassed by reloading its contents onto trucks with Belarusian number plates before passing the border. Western sanctions have been implemented on the Russian National Bank, but not on the Belarusian National Bank. MasterCard and Visa operate in Belarus and some industry. Some goods are still traded in Belarus, and they are traded further into the Russian market, while Russians can come to the country and take advantage of it. Latushka said, providing a list of loopholes that should be looked at. Minsk is currently full of Russian citizens, he said jokingly. Lukashenko's role in the war. A mistake of the West would be that it does not want to poke another bear, but in fact, they overlook that Lukashenko is mentally and strategically tied with Russia, he said. We have to understand that the Lukashenko regime is the only ally in Russia's war against Ukraine, which is why he has to be seen as a co-aggressor in this war. Latushka said, Belarus today is effectively an occupied territory, under the control of Moscow, with Russian troops and missiles. The orders come directly from the Kremlin, and Lukashenko is only a marionette in the hands of Putin, he said. This would include the country's whole military infrastructure like airfields, medical assistance and strategic supplies. Latushka said Western allies would commit a strategic mistake by distinguishing the making available of the territory for aggression on a third country and Lukashenko physically sending troops to Ukraine. Asked whether he believes Lukashenko would be ready to send Belarusian troops to Ukraine if requested, Latushka gave two reasons why he might not yet enter Ukrainian territory. Firstly, Moscow does not depend on it strategically at the moment, but if Putin will require such support, such a step by Lukashenko will only happen jointly with Russia, Latushka said, but stressed that the current state of the Belarusian army is not good, since it would lack the right military equipment and the motivation. Furthermore, there will be an earthquake in Minsk should Lukashenko decide for such a step, because contrary to the Russian population, Belarusians, in general, are against this war, he added. According to Latushka, it would also be questionable whether Lukashenko's security apparatus would support such a decision. The special forces in Brest, Vitebsk, Mariina Horka will be ready to fulfill his orders, but I doubt this will be the case for large parts of the regular armed forces since they mirror the anti-war mood in society. He said, currently, Putin does not want to destabilize the internal situation in Belarus. Lukashenko is playing his strategic role in the past few months. By continuing his military exercises, he is causing an artificial all-day-round threat to Ukraine and binding its armed forces on that northern border, he added.